Hey Walkera pilots, I got the V120, the V120d02s, and the V450d01. These are all great models of helicopters to fly. I actually started with the 60B. It was a great model. I still have it and fly it. But these three models for starting and getting into 3D is excellent. You can actually buy one remote and run all three of them, but I ended up going individually to try the different remotes. I really enjoyed the 8S. The 10 is nice. Like, it's has a few more options. You can dial in your gyros a little bit easier, and then you can set them in a hard line once you find for fine tuning. The V120d02s, it came with the 8S. The graph on the bottom for your pitch curves and throttle curves are excellent. But when you get everything all set up at the flying at the field, or whenever you start these helicopters up, you should always make sure that they're as level as they can be. You make sure that your swash plate is level, your servos are at 90 when you're at 0 stick on your throttle, so that what happens is that the gyro registers the 0 and that you level off everything at a 0 point. But when you go out to the field and say you put it on the grass or you're holding it and you have it tilted off a little bit to an angle, what's going to happen is the registration to that gyro, to your helicopter, is going to be offline, because when it's starting up, it's taking the new 0 point. If you have it slightly off, it's going to make that 0 point to the gyro actually has like a little helicopter in it. I watched a video. This is a great explanation of how this actually works, right? So if you start this off at an angle and this helicopter here is actually true, then what's going to happen is the helicopter is always going to try and fly like so. If you have it level, you have your head level, your gyro level, and you start off, when you plug in your battery, at a level position. When you take off, the helicopter is actually going to try and stay level. If you're off a little bit, your gyro is going to work and make it actually fight in the air. Now, if you set it up level every time, your sub trims and you aren't going to have to use them. I have 0 sub trim. All I've done is with the linkages for the swash, you can unscrew them. I get a half turn, I screw it back in, make sure you use Loctite, clean your threads. But these two here, what a wonderful combination. You get the V120d02s, you learn how to fly this, you hop into something a little bit bigger, go grab the V450d01, the Pro, the V450d02, or the V450d03. They fly the same. They are locked on. They are excellent, excellent fun helicopters. The V120, if you fly it over grass where it's a little bit longer, I don't think you'll break apart on it. I've actually hit asphalt. Yes, I've done damages sometimes. Other times I've literally just popped the linkages back on and started flying again. The little 120, it's actually just a standard pitch, and then the motor increases and gives you lift. It does have collective pitch tail. It is actually pretty neat, but it doesn't fly in too much wind. You can kind of get away with it, but anything over 5-10 kilometers, you're going to be working with it a lot. The 120d02s and the V450d01, great models in the wind, but you got to remember, when you start turning out of the wind, it's going to get going, and when you're coming back, it's going to want to drop. So level of flying, make sure you stick to those kind of conditions. The calmer it is, the more control it is. But once you get a little bit more experienced, yes, you're going to want a little bit of wind some days. But now when you go up on the startup, between all three models, I've learned that once you do the complete setup of the helicopter, you make sure that you're at 0 stick on the remote when you're in your transmitter. Use your throttle hold and set up the throttle curve so that it's 100, 50, V450d01. It'll find a nice spot for you to do your head setup right in the center like I was talking about earlier. Now once you get everything zeroed off, your heli is actually true. Now when you go to that setup, it is very important, go spend a couple dollars or just get a simple board and shim it when you're at the field. But I'll tell you, it will feel a lot more locked on. It will give you the comfort. You can be able to let go of the controls a little bit more. The more gyro that you put into it, the more gain that you add to it. You also got to remember that the servos are going to lack. They're going to be very docile. So it will be as if, like, if you're trying to drift off to the left and say there's a wall to the side, you won't have enough time to respond if you give too much response to the helicopter. Once you get farther down in your experience of flying, you have to stay in a field. Get lots of room. Like, don't go in tight buildings and stuff when you're starting to fly the helicopters. Go out on a nice calm morning or calm night. Mornings are nice with the sun, you know, keep the sun to your back, pick it up, hover it away. And they're awesome. Like, what you got to do though is make sure that they're level. If you level it off every time you fly the heli, it will be that much more locked on for a field. I've had lots of great flights with these models, and I hope you guys pick one up yourself. Any of these remotes are good. This is the Walkera. I think this is the Devo 7. The older model, Devo 8S, and the Devo 10. All great options. Definitely the only thing that I have to say is it'd be nice if they made a little bit better servo, but they are digital. The little one, yes, they're replaceable, the gears, but I've actually blown a few motors in them. But other than that, you guys have a good day. You guys go fly some helicopters out there. Today's a little bit rainy out for me, so I'm just going to do probably a little bit of indoor flight with the little guy. But be careful.